All right, fantastic. Mm, so LinkedIn is one platform, a fantastic platform, if I may add, that allows you to position yourself correctly and it helps you to get clients. That's a fact. Well, like I said, it is not the only platform. And I'm saying this from actual experience. In as much as LinkedIn is the go-to platform to win jobs on the internet, in the exact same way is Twitter, the exact same way. And the fact is that you can manage the strategies we give to you for LinkedIn. You can repurpose those strategies and implement them on Twitter. There are a ton of opportunities on Twitter. Don't limit yourself to LinkedIn. Don't feel, hey, EMA said LinkedIn, so you'll be LinkedIn and LinkedIn alone. You pitch your tent on LinkedIn, cost you nothing. Pitch your tent on Twitter. I've not said Facebook because in reality, Facebook has not really delivered in terms of proper jobs um, for the Nigerian audience. But Twitter has, and it continues to do that. Google itself has also done that. There are such terms, such queries you can type into Google, specific search queries, and you'll get a lot of fantastic job offers, job opportunities right there on your browser on Google. All of this data, all of this information means nothing in your hands if you don't act on them. If you will still find yourself coming back to my inbox because there is nothing new I'm going to tell you in my private inbox that I've not said to you in a class like this. There is no new technique or strategy that you will think I'm going to share with you in my inbox that I will not dish out on calls like these ones. So once you are privileged to be on the call, it's a question of being on the call. When the call ends, you execute. If you keep waiting for when we'll tell you, hey, have you set up your LinkedIn account? Have you started writing your articles? Have you started doing this? Have you even read some of the handwritten letters in the past? Have you done all of these things? If you want people to micromanage every single step of the way, because we've given you the blueprints. If you still need micromanagement, then you find that this freelance remote lifestyle might not be for you, because most of the companies that we tend to hire you, because it's going to most likely going to be remote, they don't micromanage. They expect that you understand the role, you understand how to acquire veritable skills that makes you efficient at the role. So what they expect is give you a task and they expect results. How you go about going from point A to point B, the task and the results lies entirely in your care. And they don't micromanage all of that process. What they do is give it a task, they expect to see results. They don't see results, the job is on the line. It's that simple. That's the real world. It's brutal. You can't blame them. Most of them will pay you good bucks, good money for that time, and they expect to see you delivering results for them. If you can't teach yourself discipline right now to take the information we give you and transform it into actionable steps that produce results for you on LinkedIn, on Twitter, then probably the remote lifestyle might not be for you. That's the quick disclaimer I needed to produce this night before we continue. So that said, let's get back on the track. Let's get back on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is probably over the past 10 years or so, probably the biggest platform when it comes to corporate um, corporate systems, corporate job plans, and career progression, all of that, and detailing your progress through your career and all of that. LinkedIn has probably been at the forefront of all of that kind of arrangements, and for good reason too. Most professionals prefer the platform. Most businesses have account in there. Most offers, brilliant offers you're going to get, you'll find them on LinkedIn. Nigerian companies will reach out to you on LinkedIn if you position your profile properly. In the same way, businesses abroad will also reach out to you. So LinkedIn, consider LinkedIn your magnet of all of the types of businesses you want to reach out to you. Your LinkedIn page is your magnet. If you put in the right amount of book, the right amount of evidence of your skill, of your growth, of your ability, if you put in enough of that on LinkedIn, you will no longer be the one doing the hunting, which is what we call outreach. You will then you will be attracting people who need your service. But LinkedIn is not where you go and you become timid. LinkedIn is not where you go and you feel like you're not ready. You feel intimidated by the successes of the persons you see on there. You go on there and you see people who are doing quite well in the same email marketing niche or in the same email copywriting niche, and then you feel, how do I compete with that? That's not your business, at least not ever. It really isn't your business. What's your business? Go out there, confidently position yourself as an authority. And it's not by, when we say position yourself as an authority, it's not by big words or big grammar. It's actually understanding the algorithm of LinkedIn and being smart about it. And that's algorithm, understanding the algorithm, knowing what it takes for LinkedIn to push your accounts, rank your accounts, and then what it takes for you to create an account that attracts the right kind of persons to you. That is what we'll be discussing tonight. So it's not just, hey, go on LinkedIn and put it out there that you're an email marketer. That's not strategy. That's not planning. All of the details of what it entails we'll discuss tonight. And I hope that you will actually execute. I would prefer to wake up tomorrow morning or wake up a week from now, check LinkedIn and see that a couple of us are already putting out our accounts there. So that said, let's get into it. When you set up your account properly, correctly, you become an authority figure, you become an expert. Before I continue, we've said something in the past. I've said it repeatedly, actually, in multiple classes and to many students of the CIC and the EMA. You're an email marketer. We have given you a particular cheat code, a cheat code that most other email marketers don't have. Do you remember we talked about or we shared with you past sales letters? If you remember that, please put it in the chat. Let's be as practical as we can. We've given you a lot of past sales letters. If you remember that, please put it in the chat. And you know how to access those past sales letters, all of them. There's a ton of them. All right, thank you, Kingsley. There's a ton of those past sales letters. This one strategy before we continue. Those past sales letters are your building blocks. They are your cheat code to authority marketing on LinkedIn. I don't know how else to say it, where it becomes real to you, much more than just saying it the way I'm saying it. The hack to positioning yourself as an authority, not a newbie, not a JJC, to email marketing or email copywriting, the hack to go to LinkedIn today, and in a month's time, your account looks like that of a professional. The hack is returning to those sales letters, reading and understanding those sales letters, breaking down those sales letters to the strategies that the writers used, summarizing those strategies in your own words, and creating articles out of those strategies, sending those articles live on LinkedIn. Either you send them as articles, or you send them out as carousel posts, or you send them out as regular posts on LinkedIn. You don't want your LinkedIn content, the actual content of your page, to have anything similar to a newbie copywriter or a newbie email marketer. The way to do what I've just said is basically what happens is that you are standing on the shoulders of actual giants in copywriting, and you are preaching from their shoulders. It's the quickest way to show you are someone of substance. You are not a JJC in the business. You are not a newbie. You know what you're doing. You know what you're saying. If you do it any other way, if you go to ChatGPT, for instance, and ask ChatGPT to get you articles that you want to post on LinkedIn, you're going to be posting nonsense. I promise you that. You're going to be posting things that any regular business owner can see through. In fact, I'll tell you, there are a billion AI content on the internet, and any business owner worth their salt can see through the nonsense. The power of writing is to read what actual superb writers have written. In doing that, you are doing two things for yourself. You are reinforcing certain knowledge, certain strategies in your mind, in your brain, as to how to create emails that work. You are intentionally reinforcing that knowledge, the strategy for the actual emails, because your work is actually writing the emails that convert. Your work is not really to market yourself on LinkedIn. Your actual role that you're marketing, your actual skill that you're marketing on LinkedIn is your ability to choose words, to choose strategies in your emails that will cause conversion. The trick is in those sales letters we told you to handwrite. Go back to those sales letters on a daily basis. If you're going to post, if you intend to post 3 times on LinkedIn per week, or you intend to post 4 times on LinkedIn per week, create a calendar. But before you post anything, ensure it's not bullshit. Ensure it's not nonsense. Go to any of the sales letters, take your time, spend an hour or two, read one sales letter, summarize the strategy, make it human, create an article out of it, or create a post out of it, or create a carousel out of it. It will sound too authentic for it to be something AI created. That is a hack. You cannot do that and sound like AI. You cannot do that and sound out of your depths. Because people can tell when you go to LinkedIn and you write stuff, people are not stupid. People can tell from the way you write how long you've been writing or how good your emails will look. But you can blow them out of the water. You can rinse them up if you stand on the shoulders of the actual giants in copywriting, which are what were provided for you. If you write out of their leaflets, you no longer sound like Kehinde in Aja. You begin to sound more like Gary Halbert, because you've not just written your own words, You're written Gary Halbert's words in your own words. It's far better strategy than AI. It's quicker strategy than doing your own research. It is the greatest cheat code to creating effective content for your own LinkedIn page that position you as an authority in the field. Does it make sense before we continue? What I've just said, does it make sense so far before we continue? Do you guys understand it? You can put it in the chat or you can just unmute. Kingsley does not understand what I just said. All right, cool. Who else does not understand what I just said? Or if you understand what I've just explained, please indicate in the chats. Peter understands. Awesome. Who else understands? Kingsley, I'll come back to you. I need at least 2 or 3 more persons to indicate that they understand what I've just explained. Chidi, thank you very much. Any other person before we continue? I need one more person to indicate that they understand. Any other person? Victory, do you understand what I've just explained? Adeyemi, do you understand it? Okay, cool, we have 3. Now I'll come back to Kingsley. Kingsley, this is what you're going to do for me because you don't understand what I just explained. Kingsley, so I don't take too much of the time today. Let's see. Kingsley, you have my email, my number on WhatsApp. Send me a message right now on WhatsApp so I can talk to you after the call. So as far as I'm concerned, you're just the person who doesn't understand me. All right, so let's proceed. You have my email, you have my WhatsApp contacts, right, Kingsley? Send me a message right now so I know it's you, and then I can return to you later after the conversation. All right, cool. Now, when you execute your LinkedIn strategy correctly, you win credibility. You come off as a leader in the space of email marketing, not a newbie. That's one thing it does for you. Also, when you execute correctly, your SEO is on point. We're looking at different parameters now to make sure that the content you're writing are not hidden from the right audience. That's where SEO comes in. Because if you're writing great content, but the right persons are not seeing your content, then it's difficult to create results for your business, right? So there are advantages, there are strategies you can impute to make your SEO effective and then drive more traffic to your own LinkedIn page. And then long-term visibility beyond just posts or even carousel. Articles in terms of visibility are king. Articles will stay on your page for the longest period of time. Articles will contribute biggest, largest to SEO traffic for the longest period of time on your page. The more articles you have on your page, now the articles are not going to be just articles, they're going to be SEO optimized. We're going to talk a bit about them. SEO optimized articles, the longer they live on your LinkedIn page, the more traffic they generate for you with the particular keywords that you've infused into those articles. So your LinkedIn is sectioned. You have space under your feature section to include your articles, right? But those articles cannot be just any type of article. They have to be SEO optimized so that they are complete with keywords that your target audience are going to need or use when looking for you. That's the attraction principle in SEO. The keyword that your target audience will use to search for email marketer or email copywriter. Those are some keywords that we use. So you want to infuse them into your articles intentionally, not do keyword stuffing, but intentionally use them across your articles, and then you'll be good. SEO wise, you will get traffic. Okay. So now let's talk about niching specific niches for your article. The very first thing you need to understand is your audience. You need to know what their pain points are. In fact, you need to write them down. You need to create a document because this is your own personal business. It's exactly the same thing you would have done for anyone who hires you. You have to understand their audience properly before you begin to write anything to them. So in the same way, because you don't have any particular business person you're working for right now, you need to create them out of thin air, literally. So understand who it is you want to target. We've talked about niching down in the past in previous sessions. You can get the recording. In those recordings, we talked about the choice or how you choose to niche down. So you can, if it stays broad, if your niche is too broad, it makes your content, it makes it difficult for you to create content to that particular niche. But if you make that niche very streamlined, very targeted, it's easy to create content for that niche. So we talked about, say, for instance, you have engineering is a niche. But what part of engineering do you want to talk to, for instance? Say mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering is actually a niche, and it's still a broad niche. So you cut it down to say material scientists, because the material scientists create the material or research on the materials that are eventually useful to either mechanical engineers or civil engineers. So they are a micro or subset of mechanical or civil engineering. So you are cutting down to material scientists. Now, amongst material scientists, you're going to cut down again to say textile and polymer engineers. Those are super specific. They deal with materials, but a specific type of material. You see, your target audience, your target industry is mechanical engineering or engineering in general. That's a broad form, that's a broad term. But we've gone through engineering to mechanical engineering, not aeronautical, right? We've gone through engineering as a broader sense to mechanical. In mechanical, we went down to material science. In material science, we further streamlined it down to polymer and textile. Now, under polymer and textile, you now have ease of talking to that audience alone. But in talking to that audience alone, you find out that material science audience, mechanical engineering audience in general, will relate to your content regardless because it's still in their line. Now, material scientists, mechanical engineers, civil engineers, even project managers who are not full-time engineers are in the same ecosystem. They notice that you are a specialist at talking to audiences around polymer and textile. The honest reality is that they all work around polymer and textile. All of them. Either the mechanical engineer has a department in his company, in his firm, that talks about polymer, right? Or the civil engineer has them, or the project manager runs a business or has a company he manages, where they need polymer engineers and polymer materials. Because they see you on LinkedIn consistently and they begin to see that, oh, you actually do know what you're saying as far as polymer engineering is concerned, the people you begin to attract are not just polymer engineers alone or textile engineers alone, begin to attract the entire ecosystem, but only the people in that ecosystem that need that particular service. That's how niching down works. You go to the basic, the barest minimum, the smallest subset of the bigger industry. That industry, and I said when I was saying it, I said you have to make sure that industry is actually financially lucrative, can serve your needs. So it's a good industry. You've decided that it's a good industry. Then you niche and niche and niche and niche to the smallest point. It makes your marketing sweet, short to the point, and really, really targeted. Anyone who is a polymer engineer who comes near your page will immediately be glued to it because you are speaking his language immediately. You're not targeting or talking to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You are talking to polymer guys. They will immediately be attracted to your page. You will see them commenting on your page, them talking about you, talking to you, messaging you, emailing, all of that, because you are in your element, you are in your space. So you understand who they are, and then you identify exactly why they will need you. What's the pain points? What are their interests? You can create content from all of these things, from their pain points, from their interests, the specific or general challenges in that industry. These allow you to create content that they already like. They already want to read it. Even if they saw it anywhere else, they would have loved to read it. Now, having it live on your page, having all of that content consistently being produced by your page makes them even begin to bookmark your content or take note of your name. Hey, they could have a meeting in-house and they're saying, hey, do you know that guy that talks about this and this on LinkedIn? See, that's the quickest way to create a brand for yourself. Because they begin to, in their own personal circle, begin to talk about you. And those are the places where your name getting mentioned matters. In these offices or in these areas of decision making where they decide who they hire next. Now, you've gotten their pain points, you've gotten their interests, their challenges, and all of that. Now, you address those challenges. You address those pain points. You create content. You see that there's a problem, and then you have read in your sample emails or in the past emails we've given to you, you've read something somewhere that directly addresses a particular problem in the industry. It's a question of going back. That's why I'm saying read those emails, because it will make it so much easy for you to track what particular sales letter could I talk about today, or which particular sales letter actually answers this question. And then you can go there, make your strategy, create your content that actually answers the question. I must say, you don't have to give credit to whoever wrote the copy in the first place. You are not writing their word for word. You are taking their word, understanding it, and putting it out in your own words, right? So you don't have to give anybody credit. It's now your original content. It's not theirs anymore. They inspired your content, but you wrote it in your own words. It's yours. The content strategy. Now, when you create your titles, 150 characters or less, not more than 150. The bandwidth for your headlines should be between 150 characters and less than that. No more than that. But this other thing people don't understand is that every headline you write must contain a keyword. I'll say it again. Every headline you write for any article on LinkedIn must contain a target keyword. In fact, before you write an article, you must have in mind, what keyword am I targeting? Pick 2 main keywords or 1 main keyword and maybe 3 secondary keywords. I just want to believe that I'm making sense to you guys. Before you start writing your article, decide on the keyword. The keyword is the first thing you decide upon. In fact, the pain point and all of that influences the topic you will choose. When you decide what the topic is, find a keyword, a primary keyword that will be prominent in that article. That primary keyword must appear in this place I'm mentioning right now, so please pay attention. That primary keyword must appear in the headline. It must appear in the subheadings. It must appear in the first 2 paragraphs of your article. Please write it down if you can. I'll say it again. The primary keyword must appear in the headline. in all the at least if you have 4 subheadings, you must appear at least 3 subheadings, the primary keyword, and then the first 2 paragraphs of your article. The primary keyword should appear maybe 2 or 3 times in the first 2 paragraphs. The reason for that is you don't want to do keyword stuffing, but you want to ensure that the algorithm immediately understands what you're doing without sounding robotic. So it is this way. The article does not get written first. No. The article is the last thing that happens. No, editing is the last thing that happens. Article happens right before editing. What happens first is, why am I writing this letter, this article? Step 1. What pain point am I addressing? What trend am I trying to follow? What question does these professionals have? Am I trying to answer? That's question 1. Step 2, you go to your resource, which is your past sales letter. What past sales letter actually answers the question correctly, in depth? Pick your sales letter. Good, fine. Now, what keyword would these guys use if they were searching for an article that talks about this particular problem? And I think it was last class, Coach Toby talked about certain strategies to use. He talked about answer the public. Use answer the public. Use Ubersuggest. These are tools I use on a daily basis. Use answer the public. Use Ubersuggest. If you don't have the premium, it's not a problem. Answer the public is actually free. And Ubersuggest, you can use the free version, but it's actually a paid tool. Stick with those 2. Use those 2 to get the keywords that are most relevant to your target audience. Next, the keyword has to be low search volume. When you're using Ubersuggest, low search volume. Low search volume because it's less competitive than the high search volume keywords. If you are going after a high search volume keyword, it means for one keyword, you have to write multiple articles that answers different questions around that one keyword. The only guys who can do that consistently without sounding robotic are big firms who have the wavelengths and the resources to keep on pulling data from Answer the Public or Ubersuggest, for instance, to get ideas around how to create content. But for you, and being that you're trying to target a specific niche, go for low search volume keywords. They are less competitive. Nobody's dragging those keywords with you. Nobody's putting any dollar on those keywords, or they are hardly putting any dollar on them. So that makes them low competition keywords. Pick a primary one and pick 2 secondary ones that are relating to the same idea. Now, go to your article. The framework you have there should be, before you flesh everything together, the framework should be headline, the subheadings, and your conclusion. Find a way to immediately create that headline, the 3 or 4 subheadings, to naturally accept the primary keyword. Once that happens, now you think about how to populate the headline, the introductory paragraphs and the text in between all of those subheadings down to the conclusion, and keep on installing carefully the primary keywords, like I said, 2 or 3 at the beginning, the first 2 paragraphs, and then sprinkle it maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the rest of the article. And then the secondary keywords will appear fewer than the primary keywords, but they will be there to support the primary keywords. The other thing you can do is decide between a long tail keyword and a short tail keyword. The long tail keyword basically means that it has more words in the keyword. The long tail keywords are usually have low search volume because and people hardly type in long tail search terms when they're looking for an article or something on the internet. It's usually short tail keywords, say digital marketer, email marketer, copywriter, content writer, or say content writer for fashion industry. You see, that's long tail. They want to be ultra specific, so they go content writer for fashion industry. That's longer than content writer, right? Now, your industry, you already know that you pick an industry that you're targeting, for instance, and then you already know that, okay, people in my niche, textile and polymer, for instance, would most likely include that term, textile and polymer, in their search. So they will say, email marketer, textile and polymer industry. You would have said to yourself in the start that I'm safe to say, to use email marketer as my main keyword because people will actually search for it. But you'll be safer to say email marketer and then find a way to infuse textile and polymer or textile. So email marketer, textile industry. Email marketer, polymer industry. It's long, so a bit longer than email marketer, but it's now specific, which means that the chances that whoever is in that particular industry line up, if you just say email marketer, fashion is still broad. Fashion is still a broad industry. You have to come down to a particular angle, a particular niche in fashion and target it. So email marketer, textile industry, that becomes one of your long tail keywords. And then you technically infuse it into the body of your article. Now, to do the same thing for your topic, if you want to use email marketer, it's easy. It becomes a bit technical, a bit tricky to infuse email marketer, textile industry in your title, but it is very possible. So it's okay to break the words. So email marketer on one side, separated by a couple of words, and then textile industry. The point is that in that same headline, the keyword is in there. The algorithm will read it as email marketer, textile industry. Does it make sense? You don't have to be forced to say email marketer, textile industry and keep it that way throughout your contents. It will sound robotic. You will get caught. AI will the algorithm will figure what you have done out because it makes no sense for anybody to just write email marketer, textile industry. It's even better to say email marketer for the textile industry. Better. It sounds more natural. So when you're writing your content, it's all right to split the long tail keyword into parts. Email marketer, you have some words between it, and then textile industry. You can do that across your content, and the algorithm will read it specifically as email marketer contents. Email marketer, textile industry. So we've talked about long tail keywords, short tail keywords, and how to intelligently use them in your article. So I said, in this case, AI-driven marketing strategies for B2B SaaS in 2024. Now, this topic now has marketing strategy is a keyword. B2B SaaS is a keyword. People in this industry will definitely go online and search for marketing strategies for B2B industries. Now, look at what we have here, marketing strategies for B2B. Now, somebody goes online and says, and types in marketing strategy for B2B or B2B industries. It will definitely say industries. The chances that this topic will be suggested by Google is not going to be as high as for a search term that says marketing strategies for B2B software companies. The moment software companies comes into the search term, AI will most likely, or algorithm most likely suggest this topic because it didn't just say market strategies, it didn't just say B2B, it included software as a service. Either that, or somebody goes online and says and puts a search term, marketing strategies for 2024. There's a good chance it brings up this one because it has 2024 in it. Now, we're in 2025. Anybody writing a new article and putting it in 2024 is already shooting themselves in the leg because it will never pop up. So every article that goes live now in 2025 we have the date, 2025, the year 2025 in it. So your title should strategically target a specific keyword, a main keyword, but the rest of the body of the article can use secondary keywords. Your headlines have to be clear, keyword rich, and the promised value. Then we talked about hooking your audience. 2 weeks ago, we talked about hooking your audience. So it's not a new concept to us anymore. Your introduction has to quickly hook the reader by stating the problem and hinting at a solution. We discussed, I think, 7 strategies to creating effective hooks. You will notice by now that most of the things we've discussed since the beginning of the year has been intentional. We are not just random choices. We've layered the class schedule to make sure that we've taken out the the simplest issues as we gradually advance to more delicate or more technical issues. So if you've not really taken your time to go through the past materials we've created, the videos, the PDFs we shared as well, please do, because you will need the information in those materials or in those video sessions to make sense of all of these things we're doing. So we've talked about those things in the past. Please refer to those videos. A lot of strategies were discussed there. Now, your SEO itself, I think I've pointed out a couple of them. Include primary and secondary keywords naturally to the first 100 words. Link authoritative sources. This is C. Writing one LinkedIn article, no matter how sweet anyone tries to paint it to you, it's not really a walk in the park. It gets easy with time, but the first couple of tries you're going to have, you'll find it a bit challenging. Okay, so please take note of these things. When you write your article, because you want to apportion a certain level of credibility to your article, you want to quote sources that are actually credible. Yes, you will be giving that website, whatever website you quote, you'll be giving them backlink juice, but it positions your article as more than the average article now. Remember that I said you started with content or copy or strategies from past sales letters, which is gold mine. So which means already the article you started drafting is not slouch in terms of authority or actual value. It's already no slouch. It's actually already brimming with a level of confidence. It already looks like something an expert will put together. Now, to increase the index of believability and to increase the index of authority attached to that particular article, you want to quote authoritative sources and add them maybe 2, 3, or 4 times into that article. Yeah. Then, of course, towards the end of that article, at the end of the article, you have your hashtags. Doing that will take a bit of time than doing the regular article. So if your regular article takes you an hour or 2 to research and put together, an SEO article will demand 3 hours from you or 4 hours of your time to get it right. Because you have to check all of these boxes we've talked about. Your headline, in fact, you're starting from your keywords, building it down to your structure, the structure of the article, and then infusing the keywords, doing your keyword research, primary and secondary keywords, infusing them correctly, creating the content based on what you've read from the past sales letter, and then quoting authority pages. You are giving them link juice from a page, but those authority pages begin to notice you as well as, okay, you have quite a good number of content or articles on your page. And no article goes live on your page that is not filled with value. At some point, when you've created, say, 20 or 30 articles, at some point, those other authority websites you quote might in turn start quoting you. So be very, very intentional. The moment those guys start quoting you, they've started returning valuable juice to you, valuable backlink juice to you. The second LinkedIn algorithm picks on that somebody wrote an independent article, say for New York Times, and they, for any reason on God's green earth, picked a link to your article to include to your LinkedIn article, to include in their own article for any reason on God's green earth, LinkedIn algorithm immediately throws traffic your way. Because they just gave you incredible juice. They just said to the world, we recognize that page. They are not saying something they don't know. In fact, if you see that happen, it is in your best interest to go and pick it and find a way to write a short excerpt about the article, paste it on your page. That's intelligent marketing. It's not posting alone that is called marketing. It's not writing articles alone that's called marketing. You have to observe what's going on in your niche. The second any valuable press comes your direction, milk it off. The second someone in the industry quotes or links to your article, don't just smile to yourself and say, hey, I did a good job. Take it up, write a short excerpt, post it on your page. Your audience needs to know, for instance, if New York Times refer to your article, your audience will believe you, their authority rating of your page will go up 500 notches. If they see, because just by New York Times linking to your article, your audience don't see that. You're the only one who will see that. So you need to bring it to the front so they can see. Once they see that, okay, New York Times quoted you or actually linked to your article, that's powerful messaging. You just said to them, you just shown them that New York Times considers me an authority in this business. End of discussion. That's what backlinking does for you. Beyond signaling to the algorithm that, hey, that guy is an authority already. Serious website, are you linking back to him or her? You also want your audience to know that these guys are linking back to you. So you take everything in your arsenal, you bring their article to their piece to the forefront, have a link to the piece, but you write your own excerpt and then you send it out live. Your audience needs to know the people beyond your local circle have begun to understand or recognize your authority in the niche. That will not happen because you posted 20 articles. That will happen after a while of consistently creating value. If all you do is half-assing your articles, you will not get that level of juice. So I will give you a short, no, hold on, let's go. I'll quickly check for Neil Patel. I need you to see. Messages, quick research, consult, SEO, log, extra results. It's not the product of Uber suggests, but it might work. Let's check this out soon. Okay. Not a down careful. Let's check this now. DMN News, DM News. Let's see what this guy has. What's going on with him? All right. These blogs, these contents, I'll send this link onto the WhatsApp group. So yeah, the blog page is enough. Let me have it here. Let me have it here. Now, I will need you guys to go through Neil Patel's blog. Sorry. I have added it to the document. I'll make the document available to you guys, so not to worry. You go through Neil Patel's blog. I want you to pay attention to how he creates each article, the structure he follows for each article. And the reason I'm saying this is he is an authority figure when it comes to SEO and anything SEO. He is one of the leaders in the industry. Follow his blueprints, understand the structure he follows. Apart from the emails you are going to study in the CIC, in the EMA, look closely at the blogs created by Neil Patel. Because as far as Google is concerned, his blogs are always top-notch. It means the Google algorithm recognizes him and all the blogs they write, almost all the blogs they write, ranks to Google for the particular search term or keyword they write for. So study their structure and implement tidbits from each of their email or each of their articles into the article they're writing for LinkedIn. Because it's the same algorithm that will read your page and decide whether to rank it up or derank it. And the things they check out for, I've listed a couple of them here already. Where are your primary keywords? Where are your secondary keywords? How related to your target audience are those keywords? How related to your article content are those keywords? What authority sites have you quoted? Hashtags are the list of your problems, but what authority site did you quote, if any? And how does that authority site actually uphold or support your claim that you made in that paragraph in the article? These are things you want to make sure that you key into when creating your own article. Let's continue. Structural best practices. It's LinkedIn. It's not your regular website blog. Neil Patel's website, for instance, can take 2,000 words, can take 2,500 words. But in LinkedIn, between 1,500 words, I think the ideal spot between 1,000 and 1,500. 2,000 might just be too much. Maybe once in a while, you can have an article that says 2,000 words. Yeah. But 1,000 to 1,500 should be all right. Between 1,000 and 1,500. Prioritize quality over word counts. It doesn't matter. Algorithm does not care that a word count is 5,000 words. Algorithm cares that it is useful, that people can pick up your article and take steps from your article that does something practical for them. It has to be useful. It has to be qualitative over just putting words together. So yeah, articles between 800 and 1,200 words are maybe see you have you want to write a how-to guide, how to rank your article for page one of Google SERPs. That's a how-to guide. Now, that is going to be super technical, but your ability to take that technical how-to guide and make it into 800 words, because it will demand much more than 800 words to explain how to rank how to rank your website on page one of Google. It takes a whole lot to do that. Your ability to take out the very best tricks, put them in simple to understand words, and keep them within 800 and 1,200 will mean that there is no bullshit in that article. There is not one single line that is irrelevant. If you read the article, read the paragraph or the sentence, and you see that this sentence does not add any value to the article, cut it out. It will not change anything. In fact, the fewer dot sentences your algorithm can find in your articles, the quicker it can rank it up. Because if you read the sentence and you ask yourself, so what exactly is this sentence doing here? Why is it valuable to the entire paragraph? If you cannot find a reason, a value for that sentence, that's a point dropped. So you need to understand that when you're writing tactical guides or you're writing how-to guides, every sentence has to be on point. There has to be a reason for writing. You're not writing to fill up the quotation for 500 words or the quotation for 800 words. You're writing just what is needed, and that is all. If you read some tactical guides, you find that they are straight to the point. Do this, do this, do this, and you're done. No long grammar, no over whipped sentences or statements. Everything is short, direct to the point. Simple. Those are how-to guides. Now, use subheadings, we talked about that. Use bullet points, especially when writing how-to guides or tactical reviews. Use bullet points a lot. Short paragraphs, nothing too long. If it has 3 or 4 sentences and 2 sentences can explain that 4-sentence paragraph, cut out the rest of the 2 sentences. Leave it at 2 sentences. Job done. We're talking about SEO best practices now. This is not just a regular article. You cannot complete your LinkedIn article without an image, without one image, either an image or a GIF or something like that. You have to bring them because there will be a space on LinkedIn to actually include an image. So, or multiple images if you want. So you need to get an image or use an infographic to your article or link native videos. You can see them when you start creating your LinkedIn article. You can see options for them. And those helps to boost your engagement. Now, when you pick an image, when you decide to pick an image, like I've said in the past, you have to rename that image. Everything is important. You don't just pick an image that says in your browser, say in your file manager. Usually images come as img 0678.jpg, right? Images come like this. That's the naming that comes with your phone, your laptop or your phone nomenclature. You can't rank anything if you have your image saved like that on your LinkedIn. So you already said you're looking for, where is that first one? This one. You're trying to look for digital marketing strategies for B2B SaaS. So you can say marketing strategies, you can come to your image, rename it as marketing underscore services underscore B2B underscore SaaS.jpg. So what this has done is told the algorithm that I'm still looking for that keyword, and you're going to give it to me by all means, right? So use instead of img 0678.jpg. So you have something that is actually, named after your keyword. So instead of this, you should have this. I hope that makes sense. So your phone or your laptop will generate this name for your images or for your video. For a video to be MOV or .mp4. For a musical, whatever, to be MP3 or WAV. Your job is to rename it. You don't need to rename the extension. This is an extension. JPG is an extension. If it's an image, it will be a JPG image, right? You don't need to rename that. Leave it the way it is. But this is what you rename. The rest. Everything before the dots, rename it to a keyword, to your primary keyword, in fact. Rename it to your primary keyword, then save it. You save it on your file, on your phone, or on your laptop before you upload it to LinkedIn. Because you don't have a chance to rename it again once on LinkedIn. So you rename it on your phone or on your laptop, and then you upload. Now, what happens is algorithm will crawl your page. It will no longer read the image as IMG 0678. It's now, that statement is irrelevant to, it considers this irrelevant. Algorithm considers it irrelevant. But if it sees it as this, then it says, okay, this person was intentional enough to rename the image or the music video, whatever it is, as this, which means this person has an intent to rank for this keyword. Now, it will go through the rest of the content looking for wherever it's going to find marketing services, B2B or SaaS. Now, you've clearly told the algorithm that I want to be known for this keyword. I want this article to be known for that keyword. Now, if the rest of the parameters for ranking that particular article matches correctly, you've just given yourself a bump, a push towards actually ranking, which means on LinkedIn, whoever goes in there and types in marketing service B2B sales in any order in their search term, there's a very high chance that your article will pop up. I hope that makes sense. Now, in your article, sometimes people shy off from including certain kinds of CTA. Say, I want to hear your thoughts, or download my free templates. You find out that the big boys do it, they keep doing it, and the only reason they keep doing it is that it works. Yes. The only reason they keep telling you to download something or interact with their page or interact with their or give them your thoughts, share your thoughts with them on LinkedIn or on Twitter is because it works. It generates what's it called now? There's a name, a term for it. UGC for them naturally. UGC is user-generated content, meaning beyond the tactical guide you've written just now on LinkedIn, or you ask a question as your CTA, you ask a question, what do you think? What suggestions do you have besides the ones I've listed or discussed in my article? What other tricks have you tried of late around such and such topic? It gives people the opportunity to also show their own expertise beyond what you've said. So they'll go under your post and start creating gold mine for probably your next topic by saying, hey, good job with the article, good job where you said this, you did this, you said this, I've tried it, it worked for me, but here's something else I've done that's worked for me too. Boom. Because your article is useful. People will not just go under the article and say, nice job. or leave a small emoji for you. Because it is practical, because it is something that influences their daily work, they will find a relationship between your article and their own daily lifestyle, their own work lifestyle. So when they want to pass a comment, it relates to what they do, the tricks they've used, the templates they followed, the method, the strategies they use that addresses the same concern that your article answered. The same question that your article answers. So they keep on responding, and then you are not sitting down on your phone or your laptop and laughing or reading. You are intelligently responding to them. You don't just, if they responded with 3 or 4 sentences. Your response cannot be one sentence. Show you're not interested in what they're saying or you are bored. You should show enthusiasm. You should look for different angles to keep the conversation alive. So the article is the initiator of the conversation. The comment section is always a gold mine. The right audience will find you. Do it this way. Don't look at comments and skip. Don't look at comments and ignore. Respond. Even if the comment did not exactly do what you asked them to do. Say, for instance, what are your strategies? And they did not say their strategies. You see them give you an emoji or a thumbs up. Okay, fine. You go on, you look at their name, check for their name, and look at what they do. If they are in your line of work on your target audience space, you basically poach the question at them again. So how do you solve that problem in your own day-to-day activity, in your day-to-day career? You've opened another floor for them. You give them another opportunity to respond. So they not respond in the first instance. You saw your emoji, or you saw a smiley emoji. Fine. I see you are a computer scientist. You work with so and so. I would like to share. I'd like to pick your brains. What tricks do you use? The guy sees that kind of comment in response to his own emoji, and he feels like, okay, I like what you said, I like what you did, but this is also what I use in my own day-to-day life. And conversation has started. You generate these things for your business, for your own self. So you're beginning to see that it's not a case of posting. Somebody said sometime last year, I saw it somewhere, he said, posting is not marketing. And it's true. That you posted an article does not mean you have to go and sleep. That you took your time to create the article, it's an SEO article, you did this, you did that, you did keyword research, you check for searchers intent, you did this one, you had to go and create the content yourself, and then the images, the videos, okay, fine, wonderful. You've done the first part of the job. The next part of the job is actually making sure that that article does not live on your page and it's collecting dust. Anyone, if it's valuable, people, 1, 2, 3, 4 persons will say something about it. Fine. Generate UGC for yourself by responding to them immediately. The moment they respond with anything, find a way to generate the conversation and move on. The more conversations your article generates, the more naturally keywords keep flowing and popping up under that article, the easier it is for AI to rank it. The easier it is for algorithm to rank it, because industry experts, people with real know-how in the industry, engaged you. All right, let's continue. So don't be scared to use your CTAs, encourage them to actually talk to you, to actually say something, comment and all of that. Use questions if you have to. If you have to use that, and that's the way to get them to actually say something, use questions. Now, case studies are quite interesting because they are basically something you have experienced in your personal life. As an email marketer, as an email copywriter, you have personal experience, you have a personal story to tell, or you know a particular story of someone else who tried the strategy, who used the template, who used the technique, and it worked, it generated XYZ results. You can create a case study and make it into an article and have it go live. So it is not going to be just an article, it's going to be a case study round, right? And then you send it live on your page. It will generate as much interest as your normal article, because now it's no longer, hey, I'm writing an article out of research. It's not going to be, this is a practical, real life example, either something I experienced personally, or something my boss had to do, or something a colleague did, or something a popular email marketer did. Case study. So it's going to be of a story template, not an article structure, but story template. But it now has facts and figures that corroborate something you said in an article somewhere before. So you can link that article into the case study if you want more insights. I will say something again. Internal linking and external linking is also part of your SEO strategy. We've talked about backlinking, which means you're actually linking to someone else's website or someone else's website linking to your article. Fantastic. Internal linking means you link between one or two articles on your own page or websites. You're writing an article, you got somewhere so that you've addressed particular issues somewhere else in a different article. It's your job to go and pick the link to that article and embed it into that new article you're creating. So that there's a network and a relationship between your articles. There's a form of interconnectedness between the articles you're writing, the new articles that are popping up, and the past articles you have written. It shows that those past articles stay relevant to users reading your articles today. So that's internal linking. External is when you link to different websites, or when different website links back to you, that's a backlink. All of these, because algorithm goes on your page, it wants to see all of these things. Who is linking to you? Who are you linking to? What relevance are your articles having to each other? Because if they're having relevance to each other, you'll be linking back to each other, right in your articles there. All of those things indicate that there's a structure, a brilliant mind behind the creation of that page, an authority figure behind the assembly of that page. It's not just a scattergun approach to SEO. All right. Now, you've written the article, you've done the work, you've done the research, the keyword thingy and everything, the CTAs. You've even done the engagements, underneath the article and all of that. And then you feel like, hey, that's all the work. But the truth is that, like I said, posting is not marketing. You have to consistently find ways or reasons to keep sharing your content. So we talk about responding to comments, but you also have to repost. Find a way to republish your blogs. You're going to take an excerpt from your blog, from a past blog you've written. Something is trending today. You've made articles about that trend in the past. It's necessary that you jump on that trend, that current trend, on that thing that's trending today, by going back to your own article, picking up an excerpt that addresses that trend and create something for it right now. Then you add a link to the main article. Once again, you are interlinking for your own article, but you are bringing relevance back to your page. So whatever is happening in the market right now or in the industry right now that is trending, you have articles living on your page that are actually addressing in detail what is trending today. You owe it to yourself to go back and pick up an excerpt from that particular article, bring it forward, include a link to that old article, and post it. Not as an article now, but as a simple post, or as a carousel post. So you have managed to bring back to life an old article. Now, it also allows you to do cross-promotion because you've connected both articles together with that linking, that internal linking you've done. Beyond, like I said earlier when I started, LinkedIn is not your only marketing option. There is Twitter, which is a general platform now. Twitter is a valid platform that I believe you all should have a page on that account, on that platform, a page dedicated to you as a copywriter. Now, once in a while, whatever trend is going on Twitter, you want to be able to refer people to your actual article on LinkedIn. That's cross-platform linking now. You want to be able to refer people back to your article on LinkedIn. So you take excerpt from your own LinkedIn post or article, go to Twitter, have it there, link back to your main article, and you have done cross-promotion. I hope that makes sense. The job of all of this is to make sure people are clicking on your links and returning to your main article where it lives on LinkedIn to look for it. The more traffic you get, doing that. The more professional eyes you get doing that, the more persons will become aware of who you are and where you stand. It becomes easy for them to say, send a DM to that guy or send an email to that guy because you have managed to stay top of mind by being everywhere. By everywhere, I don't mean Facebook and Instagram and everything. I'm saying strategically positioning yourself where you know your target audience lives. For sure, they live on LinkedIn. For sure, they live on Twitter. The chances that they're on Facebook has gone down because Facebook as a professional application now, it's not looking bright on that side of things. But Twitter and LinkedIn remain very, 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 very functional for those purposes. So I've said respond to comments, track the performance of your articles. That's your own personal data now. How much impressions did you have? What are the likes, the comments, the shares on them? Then adjust. So you look at what comment, what content, what article did people react to most? What topic did I talk about? What did they have an opinion about? If they have a strong opinion about something, you want to key into that particular dynamic, into that space. If you see that I talked about keyword research and nobody said much about it, nobody responded. But when I talked about digital marketing in general, people responded to me there. You want to try again to create 2 or 3 more articles around that same digital marketing audience. If they keep on responding, okay, you know that, okay, I have one live wire. You are not going to remain with that live wire and keep on making the juice out of that. You know that it's for them, it's a hot topic. So you know that, okay, you mark it somewhere, digital marketing is a hot topic. So you take your time to create content for it because people always have something to say about it. While you are doing that, you keep on testing other live wires to be sure that which other ones do they react to as well. When you find something they react to, you add it to your digital marketing live wire. You begin to have maybe 5 or 6 or 7 topics or areas of concentrations that people really, really respond to you about. And then you can then mix and match. But at the beginning, you have to figure out what they are. And that's where you have to write on different topics, on different areas within that specific niche that you're covering. Before you then begin to use data to find out exactly what do they like, what are they responding to, what do they have opinions about, what do they have counter opinions about. Those things are data that will help you to decide the growth potential of your accounts. I hope that made sense to everyone here. So we've talked about specific niches. Now, there's a step-by-step guide to help you create a very specific niched article. I've written down the step-by-step guide. I did not waste time. I did not waste words trying to build in paragraphs. I used simple highlights to make it straight to the point so you can understand what I'm writing or what I'm explaining. So define your audience, talk about that, understand what audience you're writing to, select a unique topic. I've also discussed how to go about that and look for a fresh angle for that topic. Plan your outline. Don't just start writing. You have to figure out what your headline is going to be, what your hook is going to be, what structure you're going to follow for the rest of the body. We have talked in previous classes, we talked about the pass approach. There are different other approaches you can use for your subheadings. All right, we talked about all of this already. Now, build compelling headline introduction, which is basically your headline and your hook, right? Develop your body with value-driven content, readability, short paragraphs, clear subheadings, keep things short, straight to the point. If you have data, build data into your content. If you have authority niches, authority citations you can quote, build them naturally into your content. Don't be scared to use your CTAs. whatever you want them to do after reading. If you have a material you want them to download, put it in there. If you want them to reach out to you in your DM, be bold enough to put it out there. It's your page after all. Then optimize for SEO, edit, proofread. You have, let me see, did I include them? Yes, you have Grammarly and Hemingway. They will help you to edit anything and proofread anything. Whatever, I don't care what kind of grammar you've used to write the original copy, the original article, you run them through Hemingway first. Oh, yeah, there. Run them through Hemingway first, then run them through Grammarly. Hemingway will help you to correct the structural problems of the article. Step one. It will catch most of the structural problems. Grammarly will help you correct all the grammar-related problems. All right. Incorporate industry keywords. I've talked about that. Text, images, use them descriptively. Now, promote. You publish it, you promote the article. After publishing, you want to go to your other accounts, which is Twitter, and then cross-promote from Twitter to LinkedIn. I'm insisting on Twitter and not Facebook because your professionals always have a Twitter account because they always have opinions. You all here have opinions. The quickest platform to type a 30-character or 40-character opinion and post is Twitter. So they are there. If you go on LinkedIn, look for the professional, you go on Twitter, his name is there. They always have something to say. So because Twitter, I think Twitter algorithm in terms of trying to stick to a particular audience type is messy. Yes, because algorithm there does not really allow you stay with your audience type alone. It keeps suggesting different audience types to you in your feed. So you will have to intentionally curate your audience lists. I think Twitter allows you to use lists. Create your audience list on Twitter, and it has to be only persons within that industry parallel. And then something else you can do on Twitter, you're going to block out or you block out certain words that are suggestive of other niches. So you go to your Twitter settings and then you basically block certain words that do not, certain keywords that come into your feed from other niches that you don't want to talk to or you're not interested in. So the only niche that focuses on that you keep on getting from your feed will be people that are saying stuff around your niche. It's as simple as that. Block out the keyword that you don't want and leave the rest of them to remain the way they are. Focus on your list, not your own personal space on Twitter. Focus on the list. Whenever you're typing someone, whenever you're trying to respond to someone or engage, let it be from your lists. Because that is more streamlined and dedicated to that particular audience type. So whatever you post, when you're trying to do cross promotion on Twitter from LinkedIn, you're not posting them only just on your own profile. You're going to go to the lists directly and look for conversations that meet that particular article. Then post it, they'll promote it on that conversation, under that conversation. Simple. With time, Twitter algorithm begin to understand that you don't want to mess up your algorithm. You don't want suggestive cross platform ideology from other niches to come into the niche you are trying to create. The first few months will be difficult because you have to manage and keep on deleting or keep on blocking certain words. After a while, Twitter begins to understand that, okay, this is what the person wants specifically, and it only suggests things within that particular parallel. It will take a while, but to get there. But you have to train your Twitter algorithm to do that eventually. So you intentionally block things out and focus on your lists. You'll be fine. So having said that, we've talked about building your article, we talked about promoting your article. Let's look a bit into your page itself. So your profile itself has a lot to do with the success of your article. It also has a lot to do with the success of your outreach. Should you plan an outreach? Should you decide that I want to reach out to people? Of course, the first thing they see or they respond to when they click on your page is looking at your profile. So, where is your portfolio? Where do you work? Um, what did you have to say about yourself? What recommendations do you have? So it's okay if you, within yourselves here, find a way to generate recommendations for yourselves, or you do something really cool and then you ask for a recommendation from any of us in the academy. You have to, of course, provide that thing you did that was really exceptional, because we don't want to create recommendations that are not true. So if you have done something exceptional for your clients and they liked it, send us their testimonial alongside with the stuff you did for them, and we'll write a recommendation. So recommendations are important because they help to add up to your authority, to your believability index on LinkedIn. So complete every section on your page. Your image, your profile image, for instance, has to be professional headshots. It cannot be one taken on your phone or your mobile device. It's not clear enough. Go to a studio and intentionally take a picture. Take a good professional picture. That's what they're going to use for the LinkedIn, not a picture you took on your phone. The quality is different. So your image, and then you don't just load the image, like I said, somewhere above here. Don't just put the image away, because it will come in as img00clinical.jpg dot whatever. You have to rename it to, now we're talking about your page now, your profile. So on LinkedIn, probably going to be email marketer for SaaS industry, or email marketer for fashion industry. And then you want to break that down a bit. Now, to rename your image, it has to follow that template too. So you have your image, it comes as img00 whatever.jpg. So you rename it to, if I'm Victor, for instance, so Victor underscore email marketer underscore industry. You got that? You name it on your PC or on your phone, then you upload it as your DP on LinkedIn. So make sure everything is complete. This includes your headline, your summary, your experience, your education, and volunteer work. All of these have been discussed in the module. So take your time to go through them. Your headline, your summary, your experience, your education, and any work you've done. Now, we are assuming that you've not done any paid work, right? If you have done any paid work for any clients, please include it. But if you haven't, include any free work you've done. That's volunteer work. Now, because a detailed, well put together LinkedIn page is basically your resume. I'll use myself as an example in this case. Before I had the opportunity to start building an actual CV and resume so that I can send to clients, my LinkedIn basically acted as that in place of an actual CV. So people basically saw the LinkedIn page and then reached out to me based on what they saw on the LinkedIn page, ever before I started building an actual CV. So if your LinkedIn page is done well, targeting specific audience types, the keywords in that, just the same way I told you to have specific keywords in your article. You should also research your audience to know what keywords they will search for when they're looking for you. Those keywords are different from when you are answering a question with an article. If you're answering a question with an article, you are going to be asking yourself, what keyword are they going to be typing into the search bar when they're looking for an answer to this question that your article is responding to? But when you're doing a personal keyword research for your own personal business and self, you're asking yourself, what keywords are they typing into the search bar when they're looking for me and people like me? Once again, you go to Uber Suggests or Answer the Public and you track a main keyword or two main keywords because your profile is actually much larger. So two main keywords, maybe 3 or 4 sub secondary keywords, and then you intentionally use them across your profile. Of course, if your name is Daniel Yemisi, for instance, your name on LinkedIn will not just stop at Daniel Yemisi, it will then continue either with a slash or a dash and say what's the most relevant keyword that people will search for when they're looking for you. So Daniel Yemisi, email marketer, SaaS industry. Daniel Yemisi, email marketer, fashion industry, or email marketer, or fashion email marketer, SaaS email marketer. Now that's the header or the headline, your name. I'll just say you should take a professional picture. There is something we call in tinyurl, tinyurl.com. Yeah. So you can have you can go to tinyurl.com and then shorten whatever LinkedIn gives you as your custom profile LinkedIn page. Hold on, let's check that. Yep. Is that network code? Anyways, you go to tinyurl, you pick up your LinkedIn profile link. Exactly. Yep. You pick out your LinkedIn profile link and you shorten it there on tinyurl, copy the shortened one, the customized one with your name, and then save it. Whenever you're building your CV or you're building anything else, and then you want to refer back to your LinkedIn, you use that particular LinkedIn, the shortened version, not the long one that is confusing. So linkedin.com/in/Victor Oguma, for instance. And that's your profile URL. Not the one that LinkedIn will give you that will include 6, 7, whatever at the back of it. So that's not professional enough. I want to make it professional and neat. All right. Now, the essentials. Beyond your title now, which is your email marketer, fashion email marketer, whatever, when you're writing that headline, we say something like B2B content strategist, SEO, AI marketing experts. These are industry keywords that people will look for. You want to not sound like everyone else. So you go to LinkedIn and then check what other people are using as in their title, in their name title. You don't want to sound like everyone else. So you want to ask yourself the question, how do I approach email marketing that is a tad bit different from how other people approach it? That will give you a clue into what you can add to your name that makes you different. Driving growth through data and storytelling, for instance. That's cool and that's intentional because this person has said beyond just marketing or beyond just being a marketing strategist, they are suggesting that they are actually good at data, interpreting data, using data, and storytelling. In your case, you are an email marketer for businesses, right? For specific niche businesses. You either choose to include the specific niche business that you are writing for, which is actually a smart idea, or you look for an approach that others don't use, an approach that you think you understand. Now, you're going to develop this approach based on how well you have related or read past sales letters. So you begin to develop based on your reading and your writing and everything. You begin to develop an idea, a concept that is yours. Say, when you started writing emails, it took you an hour to put together a fully complete, ready to go 500-word email. And then over time, you've practiced and practiced and practiced. And now you can put together a 500-word email in 25 minutes or in 30 minutes. And it's just as quality as when you spend 1 hour doing it. The time factor you're able to cut out is a direct factor or a direct response to the fact that you're taking time to actually read, study, and write past those letters. So you can tie that into a level of experience that you have. That alone can be brought into your headline and say something along the lines of versatile or skilled email marketer. The versatility or the skill comes out of the fact that you've gone from an hour per 500-word email marketer or copywriter to 30 minutes per 500-word copywriter. You've honed your skill. You've developed your skill. This is why I said you don't look down on these days where you start. And then you want to be like every Tom, Dick, and Harry you see on LinkedIn. You are you. You are yourself. Find a way to sell yourself in the best possible way. But don't lie. Find a way to express the beauty of the talent you are bringing to the industry without telling a lie about it. Well, I'm not telling you pick your words in a way that it positions you as an authority. We are not asking you to lie. That's why we're saying make sure that behind whatever glamorous title you choose, or behind whatever keyword you choose to include in your content, your actual experience backs it up. Your actual know-how backs it up. Which means you don't finish a session like this, a class like this, and you go to bed and you go to sleep. You still have the weekend. The weekend just went halfway. You still have the whole of Sunday after church to do something about what has happened today. Because Monday is a busy day for everyone. So is Tuesday. So is Wednesday. Things begin to cool off Thursday and Friday. And you are here again on Saturday night for another session. So the question then is, exactly when do you have the time to implement? Which is why every hour, every moment we have after these sessions, try to do something on your page, try to transfer the knowledge into action. We've talked about your profile picture, make sure it's high quality, a branded visual, that's your background, the background image on your, if you cannot do it yourself, pay a graphic designer to do it for you, but you can do it yourself actually. Use either CapCut, which is what I used, use CapCut. It's easy to use and manipulate. If you don't understand it, please go to YouTube, learn how to use CapCut, because there are little things here and there, design-wise, that as an email marketer, you should be able to do. So you don't exactly have to rely or depend on the graphic designer on your team all the time, or the graphics department in general. There are some little things you should be able to do yourself. You're not just an email copywriter, you're an email marketer. It means your job description, your job role goes beyond writing email copy. I hope that makes sense. So learn how to use CapCuts. If you can, if you have the time and the bandwidth intellectually, try to learn how to use Figma to do basic design or Adobe XD to do basic design. It will help because it's the truth. When you start putting your CV together or you start putting these materials together to sell yourself, or you want to create your LinkedIn page, and then under skills, under tools, you included, I can use Canva, I can use Adobe XD, I can use Figma. It puts you at an advantage. I'm telling you the honest truth. It immediately puts you at an advantage to anyone else who is equally skilled at email marketing but cannot use any of those design tools. If you have an extra skill that might contribute to the success of that company as far as email marketing is concerned, please don't be generous, don't be stingy with that information. Those are the things that actually separate between who they hire and who they don't hire. Put them out there. You know Canva really well. Put it there. You know Figma really well. Include it. Even if you don't know it well, you know 20% of how to use stuff on Canva and Figma. Please include it in your CV. Include it on your LinkedIn page. Because some companies might want you to be a little bit, what's it called now? Flexible in terms of skill sets. The primary role is this, but they want you to be able to do little designs on their email, right? You should be able to do that for them. So you can offer them that service, and that makes you more attractive to them than somebody who does not do any form of design whatsoever, or who did not include it in his CV or in her LinkedIn page. So those skills, start building them now. Learn how to use Canva, at least start with Canva. All right. Don't pay people to go and do simple brand design for you for your background image on LinkedIn. I'll promise you, don't pay people to do that. Do it yourself. Learn. It's how I did it. It's how other people have done it. Learn how to do it yourself. All right. Now, your summary and experience section. Yeah, this is good. Like I said, we talked about hook in the past. You've had 50 plus out of, you don't have that experience, so don't lie. To scale through data marketing or data-driven marketing, you have something you've done. Okay. Now, say for instance, you've actually reviewed all of Gary Halbert's series in our email material. You've reviewed all the series. You can go there and have something around thoroughly understands or thoroughly or leverages Gary Halbert's copy principles to generate revenue for businesses. Aha. You see, it's not coming from thin air. You know, you've actually handwritten maybe 20 to 30 or at least more than 10 different emails or different sales letters that Gary Halbert wrote. You've handwritten them yourself, means you now understand or you can now relate with his train of thoughts when it comes to putting any type of email or sales page or sales letter together. You are no longer a newbie who started reading Gary Halbert yesterday. That experience counts. It's yours. Own it. So I'm saying, look inward. Look for anything and everything that can sell you. What have you done? What have you written? In these few months of training, where is your expertise? Look for it. It makes you unique, makes you different because not everybody will reference Gary Albert in their hook on LinkedIn. If you go to LinkedIn now, not everyone will reference him. But the truth is that as an email marketer, they've read his material. As a successful business, they've used his techniques and his tricks. That's who you are today. Find a way to put it there. As time goes on, you are allowed to evolve and change and improve. Then you can change that based on the new data you start gathering about yourself, about the new stuff you are doing. But at now, that is probably the highlight of your career. Be proud of it. Like I said, do not feel intimidated by another person's success story. Do not feel intimidated by what another person is doing. Hey, what's it called? Mr. A is working for so and so in the US, and so he can write this and this in his bio. And so you feel if it's not that kind of thing, you'll not, nah. You will succeed. Be as authentic and as real as you can be, but let it be based on your own real life experiences. You'll be fine. All right. So use the about section to tell your professional story in a compelling narrative. This should be one of the easiest things you can do for yourself because you're talking about yourself. You have all the tricks we taught you already, either using your past or your story approach to create a story, or trying to be, compelling with your story, including areas in that story that talk about you, your experience, your methodology, how they can reach out to you. All of those things are important. So create a story that works fine, that is a clean reflection of your activities for the past couple of months. Yes. Or that's a clear reflection of any activity you've involved yourself in the past that is related or relatable to email marketing, which means you could have been an actual email copywriter for any business you've been working for in the past 2 years. That storyline adds up well. You could have been a news writer or just a regular writer or even a book writer. Anything you've done in your past that ties in nicely to convincing people to trust your expertise when it comes to putting emails together and managing email campaigns. Please connect the dots in a story. It shouldn't be too long, it shouldn't be too short, but make sure it is sizable, it is good enough, and it is interesting to read. Put that together and have it in your about section. Use highlights where you need to. Everything must not be in a paragraph, so it doesn't look like a news script and it becomes boring. Use highlights where you need to use them. Okay, include measurable achievements, core values, your expertise that differentiate you from others. You're writing about yourself, not about another person. What the other person has done in their own career might not tie in originally to who you are. And you want to actually express yourself as best as you can in your own language. Your own story is the most important aspect of that particular portion of your LinkedIn. So make sure it is you, for real. Use first-person storytelling when you're using your bullet points for readability. Include niche keywords. I've talked about this one already. When you're doing this, be careful. You have more space now to do it than in an article, but also be careful. You don't have to put it in every single sentence. Not even in every single paragraph. Have 2 main keywords. Have 3 secondary keywords and carefully spread them across your entire page. The experience section, people like, I think I've discovered that people like when you quantify what you've done versus when you just say it blandly. You increase organic traffic by this amount in this number of months, or this number of years, or this number of weeks. Now, as of today, most of you may not be able to place something like it on your page, and that's fine. That's fine. But because this is result oriented now, you have to tie it to be something that's results connected. You will need to also check into yourself again, look for something you've done while taking this course. If you've been privileged to work with somebody for free, Which also where we say when you work for someone, either paid or not, try to get them to give you feedback. How good was your job you did? Or where could you improve, right, on the work you did? The more they're able to give you positive reviews, the more you're able to populate your LinkedIn with those things. So in place of experience, you could have testimonials of what people have said about your work. It works too. So you may not currently have data, but keep it in mind that as you grow, as you keep on working for business A, business B, and the likes of them, you should be mindful of how your emails are performing. Don't just be focused on writing the email and managing your email framework or your email framework. You should also be interested in how much conversion am I getting for this business? How much revenue am I getting for this business? I learned that the hard way because I work with a firm, I work with a business where we did a lot of email and social media work for them. And personally, although it was my personal problem, but my team lead was, of course, more experienced at the time. So he was able to have the foresight to basically talk to the client and say things like, sir, this month, how many new sign-ups did you get for you? And he started compiling that data on his own end without telling me or any other person on the team. Just compiling that data on his own end. Every month, how many sign-ups do we get? How many sign-ups do we get? How many leads do we get? How many people paid? We were doing our own work, forgetting that we needed that data too, eventually. So when we were done with the project and everything, he was happy, he paid us up and everything, and we're good to go. Team leader asked us, so it was a very, very awkward conversation. So if you're going to write about this experience now, exactly what you know what you did, but exactly what result did you generate for these clients? Can you write? Can you tell anything about it? And we all were looking like dummies. So that brought that realization to us that it's not just enough to be great at the work you do. It's also important to also check your data. How well am I performing? Because you might be beating your client expectation without knowing. All we saw on our own front end was, hey, we have a lot of likes, we have shares, we have this, and that's what we thought was data. Or that's the entire broadband we felt data was. Hey, we have 50 shares, we had 300 shares, we had new followers on the page and all of that. Okay, so we're doing, the account is doing good. But then the result end of the data, we did not have it. All we just had was static data that showed we were doing something on the page, or traffic to the website that showed we're trying to drive traffic correctly, or the ranking of the certain keywords on the website on Google that showed, okay, our job is actually showing up. But there was no one time we checked to see that this data was actually transmitting to real life situation being improved for the business. Because at the end of the day, the reason the business hired us was to get sign-ups. And everybody on the team was not interested in the sign-ups, except team lead. Everyone was just focused on, hey, we have a new follow. We have 10 new followers there. This week we have 20. And that was to us, that was data. But that's not important to the client. The client doesn't even care. Even if you have 300, 3,000, 5,000 per week, it doesn't matter to him until he checks his account and say, okay, we have 20 signups. That's what he's paying for. That is the real data to the clients. That is what matters to him. So he goes to his own page. As far as his own dashboard is concerned, I paid this guy $500 for the month. I paid $300 for the month. Okay, fine. What value did I get for that $300? How many people paid? How many people paid me $100 this week? How many people paid me $50 this week? Or this month, how many people paid me $500? That is own dashboard. That is what he's looking at. And that's what justifies what he's paying us at the end of the month. So when team lead asked us that question, we're like, Wow, we didn't check, we didn't ask. I said, exactly. It's your job also to intelligently talk with the client. So some client want to hide that data from you and say, keep on doing what you do, keep on doing what you do. You have to be smart about how you approach the clients, be very pragmatic, and get them to give you numbers. Because numbers is where you get them. So how many sign-ups do we have this week? So, oh, had about 15. Impressive. We'll try and do that. We'll try and do more next week. We are trying to get to 20 next week. Now you've planted it in his brain to expect 20 more sign-ups next week. Aha. So by the time you go back to him next week, it's either you have more than 20 or less than 20. He'll give the numbers again. Your job is to keep on collating the numbers. Hard data. Because by the time that contract is done, by the time that client is done and is happy, you also want to be able to sell your skill to new clients. It's not going to be, I generated 50 likes or 5,000 likes or 10,000 followers for this client that will matter to your next clients. What will matter to your next client beyond 10,000 followers and 50,000 followers is going to be revenue. I generated $10,000 for clients A, B, C. Now you have your next client's attention for sure. That's data. So in the whole confusion of building your emails for your clients, managing their email framework and data, be interested in the results data. Is it working? Because that data will even give you ideas and insight into what needs to change in your approach, your strategy. Is it working? No. What do we fix? Is it working? Yes. What do we expand upon? What do we attack even more? Can I get that data? Here you are. Of course, if it is working, they are more predisposed to give you the data. Yes. So please, as much as possible, be very aware of the entire lifespan of the type of data you're collecting from either your laptop, which is what you can see, likes and likes of them, and then the ones you can't see, which is the actual results on the side of your clients. All right. Those things will help you in a situation like this. A lot. They will help you in that situation. Let's proceed. Sorry about that, Igbinosa. I hope your network is better. Now, we've talked about the feature section where you pin your articles, your white papers, your recordings, your any other detail, any other major material you create. Then enable creator mode, actually, which allows you to write newsletters, allows you to check your analytics. If you have it on personal mode, you will not be able to see analytics. So enable creator mode so you can see this. This is important if you think that data is important to you. Then endorsement, like I said, if you've done something and you feel this is really good work, then write to us with evidence of what you did. We'll give you an endorsement. Other than that, put in as many skills as you can that covers the skill set that you currently have, and then look towards improving those skill sets. So basically, we've already talked about Canva and Adobe XD and all of them. It will take you more than an hour a day or 2 hours on the weekend to sit down with your laptop, open a YouTube account, and try to understand how to use Canva or try to understand how to use Adobe XD. That's an extra skill set. Add it to your portfolio. It helps you a lot. It differentiates you from other people. I've stressed that enough. Networking and engagements. Now, you will notice that, because I've noticed it myself, on LinkedIn, people who, at some point when you grow your account to a particular level anyways, the people who tend to send you connection requests most of the time are Indians and Palestinians, Indians and Filipinos. Yep. Ha! In as much as those are all right, Be careful or be strategic with what connection request you accept. There should be more business owners than SEO strategists messaging you. SEO strategists are trying to just buy something. They are trying to make you buy something. They're trying to make you buy an offer. They are not they're not your target audience. So anybody that's messaging you, asking to connect with you, make sure that they are business owners or team leads or decision makers in companies. Be selective in that sense. Then you can also approach those guys yourself. You go after them, you build your profile well, you put in a couple of articles, things are moving fine, then you intentionally go after them. Connection, sending out correct connection requests. You don't go after people who are not your target audience. If you want to eventually work for companies in the US, go after their CEOs, their team leads, their COOs, their CFOs. Those are the guys you send connection requests to. Some of them, you have problem connecting with them because of sales navigator and the likes of them. But some of them, you can actually reach out to them and at least demand for that connection. You send them a personalized message. You don't just send connection requests the way you send it on LinkedIn and then you just start reporting and then it goes, no. You curate a list of people you want to reach out to, understand their markets, find a pain point, find why they will need you, create a message that is meant for them and gives them a value should they decide to allow you to connect with them. It will also keep you grounded on why you started LinkedIn in the first place. But when you see these people are the ones checking out your posts, they're the ones responding to your articles, and you know that these are quality men and women who don't waste their time reading sheets, it means that you will then be forced to pay extra care and extra attention to the quality of articles because industry leaders are the ones reading it. If you lose them because because of the weak value of your article, that will be entirely your fault. Which is why I said make sure you have a couple fantastically done articles on your page. Your profile should be spotless, all T's crossed, all I's dotted, before you start reaching out to these guys. Because when you send out that message and they check out your profile, they are assessing you. They're asking themselves, why do I need you? Answer those questions on your profile. It's as simple as that. Answer all the questions they possibly will have about why they should connect with you on your profile before you send them that connection request. Not everyone here will be able to afford Sales Navigator, so I'm not going to stress on needs. You can operate your LinkedIn account fine with or without Sales Navigator, so don't stress it. If you don't have the money for it, don't bother your mind. It works just fine with or without it, right? It just makes it better as a sales tool to target specific audience types, decision makers actually, a lot of them. If you have it, if you can pay for it. But other than that, you can still reach those guys if you follow your normal native marketing approach. So don't kill yourself about Sales Navigator. Another thing is certifications. Truly they work. If you have completed something on Udemy, you completed a course on SEO in Udemy, you completed a course with Ahrefs in marketing, digital marketing, please add the certifications to your profile. These are authority marketing. These are ways to show that you're not a newbie. You've been around the block for a while. You know you've been trained, tutored by some of the leading experts in the industry. So Ahrefs, you have the certifications, a couple of them from Ahrefs, from Udemy, from SEMrush, from Ubasuggest, and most of them. Take the courses, add them to your LinkedIn, and you're good. Some of them it takes maybe a week or two to complete the course, and then you can get certificates. Do those things to boost your profile. So we've talked about cross-linking. What we want to talk about is content calendar. And that content calendar bit, I don't like to stress on it because what takes care of, what helps you with the content calendar bit is basically, because now I've changed the approach to your style of creating content. It is no longer predetermine a content type, writing into a calendar, and then planning for that, and then doing research to write up for that. No. The question now is that you have to actually read materials, actual materials in the industry. Either reading the sales letters we told you to write, or you're reading briefs, industry briefs around email marketing. And then you are drawing your own conclusions based on those industry briefs. Or you are taking up new books around email marketing, email copywriting by new writers, by recent writers who know what they are doing, and then you are summarizing them. That is where your content is moving forward for the next 1 year. You will see a marked difference between the results you are getting and the results somebody is doing by generating things from thin air. This is February, by December, if you follow this approach, by December, by the time you revisit your own articles, you will be impressed. You will feel proud that you wrote that. I'm speaking to you from actual knowledge. If you follow this approach to writing articles, creating your content for your LinkedIn, and even possibly for Twitter, by the time you revisit your page in 6 months' time, and you have been reading something you've written in the past, because they come from actual experts, you ask yourself, where did I learn this? You will feel that rush, that, whoa, I really did good with this article. This is something solid. Yeah, that will happen because it comes from, from actual giants, from really, really resourceful people, than trying to brainstorm or trying to piece 1 or 2 things together from a YouTube video you watched or from a Google search you did. You don't have enough experience to make claims, but there are books that can help you open up your mind, open up your thought process around email strategies, marketing strategies, templates, and they are from years of experience. And the sweet thing is, the target audience can relate to it. They understand it. They will ask you questions. They will throw questions at you, even better. Because then it forces you to do what? Read more, research more, understand better what you're doing, what you're saying before you respond. You're not going to respond for the sake of responding. You're going to respond for the sake of, from the point of view of knowledge acquired. So when you see a response that is looking like a question to you, you want to maintain your authority position in posture, yes. Before you respond, make sure you've done a bit of your research before you respond to be sure that you are hitting the nail on the head all the time. The more that happens, the more you reinforce the mind of whoever is questioning you that you know what you are doing. You're not half-baked, you're not half-cooked. And the reality is that you are not. Now you're going to pick I don't like doing the idea of posting consistency and everything. 1 or 2 articles a week is enough. If nothing happens at all, post 1 article a week. It's not the numbers. Because if you go ahead and you create 5 great pieces and you interject that 5 great pieces with 1 less than ideal nonsense, you spoiled your flow. Don't write articles for the sake of writing articles. Write it when you know you've had enough information from from an original source, from something you are reading. Don't force yourself to say, I'm writing an article every week. That might be good, but then also counterproductive. If it takes you to write one article in 2 weeks, let that be your flow so that you can create quality over quantity. If you create one article that is really good in a week, at the end of the month, you have 4 top articles that are trending well or that are getting attention. Or people are reading it and saying that there is substance here. They will begin to expect your next article. They will begin to expect your next insights. As against, they read the first article, it was trash. They read the second one, it was nonsense. They read the third one, it was bullshit. You've lost them because you wanted to do numbers. I hope I'm making sense. It's not numbers, it's quality. So when you go on LinkedIn, you will hear a lot of grammar about consistency, post. That's not your business. You can take excerpts from what you've read and create a small post that goes out every 2 days or every 3 days or every day. But when it comes to putting an article together, take your sweet time. Take your sweet time to create an article that people will find valuable. The more of that you have on your page, remember, as I said, that's SEO, means everything I've discussed around keywords and research and all of that needs to gets done. But take your sweet time, make sure it is done correctly. Then post. Keep on reading your material. This will force you actually to make sure that you keep on reading those materials, or you keep on buying new books around email marketing, email copywriting to see what's going on, the newest sense of the world. But you keep on getting better. By the end of the year, your standing, your knowledge base, compared to somebody who has not followed this approach, will be day and night. I promise you that. And that's why some people get kind of result that some people cannot get. That's the only reason. They will attend the same EMA or the same CIC, and some people are getting results that others only dream of. This is the reason. Consistently improving yourself. If there's any way consistency come out of your mouth, it's when it comes to self-improvement. But for the sake of posting, nah. Quality over numbers. I've talked about case study already in helping you to build authority. So these are ideas, they are either supported by data or supported by a storyline that proves a point or proves the data is correct or inaccurate. So use case studies once in a while, apart from your articles. Your resources, I've said it before, Canva, Grammarly, there is Hemingway, there is Adobe XD, there is Figma. You will walk around this. For analytics, the normal LinkedIn analytics, Social Insider is something you can download. You can set up an account Social Insider. And then Google Keyword Planner, Ahrefs, Ubersuggest, Answer the Public, use them. For more detailed keyword research, if you can pay for it, please pay for it. Use SEMrush. In fact, if you have to put them in order of importance, SEMrush comes first. Ahrefs is next. Ubersuggest. Then Answer the Public. In that order. Right? All right. Yeah, I talked about Grammarly, I talked about Hemingway. I talked about, depending on your interest in design, I talked about, what's it called? Figma. Figma and Adobe XD are basically the same, but just pick one. Either you do that Adobe XD or you do that Figma, you pick one. Just the basics. You can do the basics with those two, basic design. Yeah, you're all right? So, to wrap it up, what we basically discussed is using your articles to build credibility, SEO, and drive traffic. Using your own profile, your general profile, to build authority. Once again, SEO and driving traffic, including testimonials where they need to be, including certifications where they need to be, right? Creating a very, very natural story around your skill set, what you offer, how they can get in touch with you, engaging your audience, reaching out to your audience, engaging them to comment on your posts or your articles, sharing, encouraging them to share your articles or your posts, getting recommendations. Recommendation you can get it from us or any business you volunteer for. Yes, they can give recommendations. So don't just work and then maybe get paid or you don't get paid. In any case, if you are going something for free, at least get a recommendation out of it. So hey, can you quickly put something on LinkedIn for me? And then based on how our relationship was, and then they do that for you. The more business that can do that for you, or the more individual that can do that for you, the more your page begins to look more robust than it will be skimpy. So a skimpy page is not ideal. What we have done basically, make sure that every aspect of your LinkedIn page is addressed as comprehensively as you can. Because that page will complement your articles, that page will complement your outreach efforts, that page will contribute to attracting the right people to you. I hope I've made this concept around vision authority on LinkedIn a lot easier. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask them before we call it an evening. Any questions? Anything you want to share, please. You can unmute your mic or you can ask them in the chat box so I can take up your questions.
Good evening.
All right, good evening. Who's talking?
Maurice is on the line.
All right, awesome. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for your lectures.
You're welcome.
And my question is, how do I check the inflow of signups? Is data collecting within the emailed marketing space?
Yeah. Now that's an outside data. And that's something you get from your clients directly. In some cases, some clients, there are two types of clients. The one that is willing to give you that data and the one that is not willing to give you the data. But in either case, it's your job to be pragmatic enough to be able to get it out of them. So the way to eventually get them to lean towards giving you that data is basically promise them a certain number of, not necessarily promise, but suggest that you can get them a certain number of sign-up. If sign-up is the goal of the campaign, or if a particular amount of revenue is the goal for the campaign, then you suggest that, hey, you can get maybe $500,000 from this campaign at the end of 6 months. So we can check. We need to check on a weekly basis, or a daily basis, or on a monthly basis how much revenue we raised. They will not know that is you trying to collect data, but they will feel you want to create an accountability setup so that you know exactly what's going on. So you know exactly what's going on with each week that goes by. But in real sense, what you're doing is basically saying to yourself, okay, this is the activity I carried out for the week. This is how it's made a difference on the bottom line, which is sign-ups or revenue generated for the week or for the month. People forget that a lot. They feel as long as we're having good numbers we're having good readership in our emails, then all should be well on the other side, on the expectation side. But sometimes, if you see that your client is not disturbing you, it's not telling you, it's not questioning you or querying you about, so how many emails did you send today? How many people read that email? Those kind of things. Understand that they are seeing good results on their own end. That's what it means. They are seeing good data, they are getting results that they feel is commensurate to the amount of effort you're putting in. So they will not really bug you about details. because they are already seeing results. But when you see them bugging you about details, yeah, they don't have results to show. That's one of the clearest indicators that something's wrong. So the accountability setup of creating a way of tracking, hey, what revenue did you generate this week or this month, goes both ways. It allows them to hold you accountable, but allows you to see when things go right, what changes did you make that week? What changes did you make that week that spurred that little growth when things go right, revenue-wise or sign-up-wise? And then you focus around that strategy for the next week or two. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a second question.
Please go ahead.
Aside LinkedIn, you also discussed Twitter.
Yeah, correct.
I had an account with Twitter, but later I was blocked.
Okay. What opinion?
It has lasted for some months, expecting that I will be unblocked. So what should I do? Should I open a new one?
Set up a new one. Set up a new one with a new email.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, with a different one.
With a different email, yes. Set up a new one.
Thank you.
And whatever you did that made them block it in the first place, don't repeat the same mistake.
Okay, thank you.
So when you go to Twitter, for instance, your goal, besides marketing yourself, your goal is pick specific job boards. There are specific job boards on Twitter that are really good at fishing out authentic, good jobs, right? Either in the space of digital marketing or email marketing or copywriting in general. There are specific job boards on Twitter that do a fantastic job that's almost as good as LinkedIn, if not better. In my own experience, my personal experience, they are almost better than LinkedIn. Yes, specific types of job boards. Follow those job boards, those accounts. And whenever I see something that relates to your line of work, another thing I have to say is this. When a job description says they need somebody with experience of 5 years, that does not rule you out. I'll say it again. You may have 1 year experience only, or you have 3 months experience only, and the job description comes up, and you are reading they need someone with 5 years or 3 years experience. It does not entirely rule you out from getting the job. Apply. Let them be the one to reject you. Don't reject yourself. Sometimes it is the quality of the company putting out the job requests. And then we have this inferiority complex. We say to ourselves, why on earth will Toyota hire me? That's inferiority complex. There is no other grammar for it. The other side to that coin, to that question, that statement is, why on earth would they not hire you? What is wrong with you? Tell me. Sometimes it's the price they place on the job. They say the job is going to pay $1,000. Hey, and I'm like, what exactly do I know? That's what $1,000. And then you rule yourself out of great opportunities because you are scared that I could not possibly know enough to start earning $1,000 right off the bat. These are things that we do to ourselves unknowingly, subconsciously, and then we are losing out on things that we could have gotten. I'm speaking from experience. I'm telling you from real situations. Don't rule yourself out until let them rule you out themselves. Let them be the ones to assess you and say, I'm sorry, you're not the candidate we're looking for. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your own self-esteem. Be positive all the time. Go for any job that falls within the bracket of email marketing, email copywriting. You have all it takes to win those jobs. They want 5 years experience, apply. I'm not saying go ahead and lie. I said apply. In some cases I've seen, they will take you up, train you, pay you for the training, and then employ you as a full-time staff. I have seen it. I'm saying things from experience, not from things I read in books. I'm saying things to you from experience. I've seen companies who will pick up a newbie, even though the job ad said 5 years experience. They pick up somebody who has done just 3 months in, and then they pick him up, train him to the specific role they want him to handle, and they're paying him big bucks. And you are there with probably superior knowledge, and you're telling yourself, well, why would I be earning $500? But when you see 100K job, you're attacking into your minds. It's inferiority complex that is doing you. That's inferiority complex. You're telling yourself, you're telling the universe and yourself that what I'm worth right now is 100K job or 200K job. Not what's 1.7 million job. I'm not what's 600K job. Because you find out that once you believe that nonsense, you will start gravitating towards jobs that list their prices at 100, 150K, 200K. You start naturally gravitating towards them. Not knowing that you have subconsciously sold yourself the idea that I cannot go beyond this benchmark. So I'll tell people who care to listen, by all means, do not limit your job search to Nigeria. That's your first mistake. There are companies, there are firms outside the shores of this country that are willing to train you, educate you, get you up to speed, and pay you good money. By Nigerian standard, very good money. And the only way you can increase your chance of getting hired by those guys is by the number of times you respond to such job adverts. Keep on responding. Keep on responding. One day, the universe will smile on you. All right? So any other question before we call it a night?
Yes, Jide, I certainly agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And when I was in the higher institution, my lecturer told me that there was a job interview he never applied of. But he heard of it on the same day of the interview. What he did, he went to the venue while other people were being attended to. He rushed into the hall without being invited. Okay. And when he was asked, did he apply for the position? He said no. Then they asked him, why are you here? Okay. He said he's here because he's qualified.
Simple.
Yet and behold, he was interviewed and he was the only person that was taken for the job.
Imagine that. Imagine that. People will say it was luck. People will say it's luck. Well, it's not luck. It's not luck. The fact that he was able to, he believed that he was deserving of that job. That's the first part of getting hired. Yes. If you tell yourself, hey, I can't get this kind of job, it's too high, it's too big, it's in Sweden, it's in Italy, it's beyond me, it will be beyond you. The universe will conspire to say yes to your prayers. The universe will listen to you and say, okay, you think Italian jobs are beyond you or Chinese jobs are beyond you? Okay, fine. They will be beyond you. They will be beyond you. You will find them hard to get. But when you're actually on the lookout, you're actually hunting, hey, I want a job in Sweden, and you're looking and you're setting your search terms to Sweden, to UK, to United States, and you're actually looking for them, they will come. They may not come in the first 3 months of you doing all of that high energy application, but I want to tell you, okay, let me use myself as an example. I responded to a job invite last year. I responded to that job. I applied for the job around February last year. It took February, March, April, May for them to respond the first time to that email. They responded and said they want to talk to me. It took them June for them to schedule the first interview. June, July, August was interview, 3 months. We kept on going back and forth with different departments and different heads. And then it was until September or October last year. I was sitting in front of my house on a night, on a cool evening like this. I got mail. Just like that. I got mail. The offer was mind-blowing. The point is that if I do see when I apply for the job, February.
Yes.
And see the time it took for it to come through. You have to apply for those things. It wasn't, if I will go for the job, for instance, now, if I said to myself, I'll wait until when I need a new job before I apply, then I would have missed the February opportunity because I was not applying in February. So as of today, if you see an opportunity that somehow maybe 40, 50%, 70%, the description for the job, for the role, is something you can handle, by all means respond to it today. The result may not come in the next 3 months, or in the next 4 months, or in the next 2 months. It may come in the next 6 months or 9 months. It may come in the next 2 years. But they have your data on file. Let them be the ones to say no. Let it not be you that said no to yourself. Because you could have checked yourself. All the persons who have applied, people apply from Ukraine, people apply from China, people apply from the US, people apply from the UK. Exactly why would they pick me, me from Nigeria? And that's the reason you will say no to applying, because you feel there are more qualified people on the face of the earth for that role.
Nice.
Nobody checks, no company can check all the emails they receive when they advertise a role. No company checks everything. They start from the first one they can pick up, and they check only as far as when they get to someone they feel can deliver on the job, which means they could have gotten 5,000 applications and they only check the first 50 before they decided that they've seen enough. Or they check the first 20 before they decide they've seen enough. What are the chances that you will not be in the first 20 when they make that decision? So in your own corner here in Africa, you are thinking you are competing with 5,000 people. But in the real sense, you might have been competing with just 20 people.
Yes.
Or 30. The chances that you are better than the other 29 is higher than the chances that you are better than the other 5,000. The other 499, 4,999. The chances are better. So send it. Let them be the ones to disqualify you, not you disqualifying yourself. That's skill 1. Skill 2, numbers. They work when it comes to application for jobs, when it comes to seeking opportunities, when it comes to outreach. Numbers work. As much as possible, respond to as many offers as you can. The more offers you can respond to, the better. It drastically raises up the number of times people will message you and say, hey, can we schedule a meeting, an interview with you? If you send out 5,000 responses to emails, the chance that you get 10 responses saying, hey, we want to meet you, is higher than if you send out 500. Are you getting the logic? So do numbers, don't disqualify yourself, pray to your God, everything will be fine. So people that are preparing in their mind that they will come to my DM and asking me, how do I get a job? I've just told you how to get a job. We finished LinkedIn already. Yes, I've just told you exactly how you can get a job. The most practical sense of it. Don't come to my DM and ask me that question again. Here, right now, I've given you the templates, numbers, and don't reject yourself. Go to Twitter, go to LinkedIn, activate the job search function, streamline it to countries you want, the UK, the US, Italy, Sweden, Switzerland, I don't care. You can pick some Nigerian companies, but you already know what you expect from a Nigerian company in terms of payments compared to a US company. The choice is yours, but don't disqualify yourself. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other question before quality? I think we've had quiet the conversation already. Any other question?
Yes,
For now.
I have a question.
Okay. Roberta, you can go ahead. Roberta, can you hear me? You can go
Hello.
ahead.
The network thrown me out. I've just
You
been
can
trying
type.
to.
You can type your question. You can type your
Thank
question.
you, sir, for the lesson. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, sir.
Continue.
Yeah, I can hear you. You can type your question. If I can't hear you because you are breaking up, your network is actually glitchy. You can type your question so I can handle it.
I was asking if you can hear me. How
Okay,
do
yeah, I
I
can hear you right
verify
now.
my LinkedIn?
How do you verify your LinkedIn?
They've been asking me to verify my LinkedIn.
Do you have
And the ID
your,
card they're asking for, I don't have it.
what ID card did they ask for?
NYC, yes, sir. How do I verify?
Do you have your NIN? Hello?
I have yes, sir. I have NI.
What else did they ask you for? What other location did they ask
Can you
you
hear
for?
me?
Oh God.
They said they are, they're asking for ID card that have NYC, NYC, something like that.
Come again,
I
what
don't
did you
really
say?
know how to go.
You are breaking up actually. Type in your question. Type a question in the chat box. I'll respond to it. Can you hear me? Type your question in the chat box. I'll respond to it.
My network is
Can someone please tell how to type in the chat box?
not really
I'm not sure she's hearing me.
sure.
So any other question before we go ahead? Good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you for the class. My name is Kingsley
Yes,
Amova.
sir.
All right, thank you. Welcome.
Okay, now I want to ask something about the article you said, like we should post an article on our LinkedIn page and other stuff. So now let's say, for example, now I want to post an article on my LinkedIn.
I'm typing.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you. Please just go ahead.
So I say I want to post something on my LinkedIn, and let's say, for example, now I said why, like the headline should be why you should not joke with your brand. So now, like beneath it, I decide to write content. Can I do something like that on my LinkedIn page?
So you're
Hello?
talking about writing an article titled "Why You Should Not Joke with Your Brand."
Yep.
So remember what I said from the beginning. You don't just start writing an article for the sake of writing it because you think you have an idea. It has to start from a keyword. It has to start from something you read in a material, an original source. So why you should not joke with your brand? Where's the keyword in that? Because brand is too general a keyword to be something you can target. Remember I said every article you post on LinkedIn moving forward has to be SEO optimized. The SEO optimization starts with your keyword research. So exactly where in that headline have you included any type of keyword? So I like the fact that you brought up the question, so we can start looking at examples of headlines you should not even be bothered about moving forward. So exactly where does the keyword come in? And how does that tie into your target audience? Why you should not joke with your brand? That's too general. We've already talked about niching down first. That's why we talk about niching down first. So if you go to LinkedIn now, you type in why you should not joke with your brand, a lot of copywriters have written that same article in different languages. So where is the differentiation between you and them? Because algorithm are seeing that title over and over again. You will not have any original content to create, to send that somebody has not written before. And I call that the lazy man's approach to content creation. Because you will still go back either to AI or to Google to pick up something someone has written before, regurgitate it, resend it back up to LinkedIn. There is no difference between you and them. The differentiation comes from if this idea came from something original you read in a book, in a material, with deeper contexts relating to your target audience, relating to your industry, relating to a particular keyword that your industry uses a lot, right? That content, that original piece becomes your source material to create the original content you need to create. Now, you will not be getting the regular suggestions that AI will produce or the regular suggestions you'll be getting from a normal Google search. You'll be getting suggestions from somebody's years of work, somebody's years of experience, somebody's years of sweat. And then you are remodeling that content, that ideology to fit the narrative you're trying to create. So when you polish the article and it is good to go, you yourself, in fact, read your article before you send publish, before you click publish. You should be impressed with what you've designed. That is the hallmark of great writing. If you read your article and it sounds like something AI will generate, discard it. I'll say it again. If you read your article, your finished article, and it sounds like something AI would generate if AI tried, discard it. Go back to your drawing board. Create something that is original, that AI will not manufacture. Something that comes from the book, from the material, with context, with depth. Because that is what professionals will connect to. Because professionals have lived that experience at some point in their life, in their professional work life. They have. They will connect to that particular ideology. They will either challenge it or they will agree with it. If they do either of them, good for you. You're either going to learn or you're going to educate them. But it will be too real, too genuine, too connected to reality for them to discard your content, your articles, in the name of AI generation. It is very possible to write a superb article with bad English and get people to understand what you've done than to write fierce, substance-less articles with the best English. I have read materials written by Russian academics who don't exactly speak great English language or bother to write it. But the depth in their research materials is undeniable. Your worry, the list of your problems will be their grammar. We're not saying to do that, to make grammatical mistake. We're saying give your articles life. They don't come from Google search. They don't come from AI materials. They come from actual books, actual resources, the kinds of resources that people in our age and time will not bother to read. Nobody, hardly anybody, except we told you here today, hardly anybody will read a book by Gary Halbert today. But the principles in Gary Halbert's book still apply marketing to today. That is your key. That is your inroad to originality. And that's what you want to start with. I'm not saying go ahead and start creating 50 articles per day. I'm telling you to go ahead and take your time to read those materials and come up carefully with properly understood articles with your own point of view. not AI's point of view, yours, based on your own understanding of the material you've read. You will find genuine, original connections to that article on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on any other social media platform, because people don't read the way you think they do. I hope that answers your questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I understand.
You're welcome. So there's work to be done actually. Yes, now, Chidi, we already discussed this with the last couple of sessions we had. Email sequencing. Yes. Now, this sequencing is you plan it, you execute it on your marketing framework, your email platform, right? You design the first email and they have it in series, and then you design in that platform how you release those emails one after the other. That's sequencing. So yes, you have to plan that. What kind of email do you release? Say for instance, you are trying to introduce a new product to a market, so an organic base. So what email do you think your target audience want to see first? Something around the lines of suggesting that there will be a new product release. So maybe product name is the only depth to that kind of email, but the entire framework is just showing that there will be a product release maybe on the 25th of March. So you created time. You started doing the sequencing today, but they will expect that multiple emails will be coming out gradually over time until launch date on the 25th of March. So first email talks about the launch date, the product name. Second email now talks about, now goes a bit in depth into talking about the features or the benefits of the product, right? Because an email, it cannot be, what's it called now? Text heavy. So it has to be more of images or video clips, 1 or 2 video clips or 1 or 2 images, very well done, and then some features of that product, highlighted features of that product. So you're talking about a few features, a few benefits, and they're all in series. So launch dates 1, features 2, benefits 3, how they can order, how can they pick up, where can they pay for it, and then keep on sequencing all of those different types of emails up until March 25th, when the launch date will come up. So you've dripped the campaign to make them understand as much as you want them to understand about the product before the product launch itself. And when the product launches itself, all your emails have prepared them for a particular single link where they can purchase the product. And that day, purchase happens moving forward. So sequencing is something you have to think through for the market you are writing for and execute based on the structure, the platform you're using to design your emails. You can get the recordings, they're always available. You can get them. How do I combine my certificates in content and copywriting course with this present course I'm doing now on LinkedIn in past session? Okay, cool. Put everything on there. They are all related now. Content writing, copywriting, email marketing, all related. So put it on. If you have the skill, if you have a certification in SEO, please put it there. You have a skill in design, in-house design, product design, and graphic design. They are all interconnected. They are skill sets that are relevant in the email marketing sense, in a broader sense. So yes, you don't have to question whether you should put copywriting course certificate or no. Everything goes on your certification page. Yes. What should be my ideal length of article on Medium? You said 1,500. 800 to 1,213 is good for LinkedIn. The same length for Medium. The same length for Medium. If you can do 500 to 800, even fine. but then they have to be super specific articles, straight to the point, no long talk. I think the only time people do long talk articles is when you're writing guest posts. Yeah, yes, when it's having things like 1,500 words or 2,000 words, when you're doing guest posts in another person's blog. Exactly. When you're writing for your personal website, for your LinkedIn, for Medium, your article should not be too long. People don't have that time to read that many words. You are self-employed, you relate with customers on a daily basis. Should you add it on your LinkedIn profile? No, it's network is throwing you out. Okay. You are self-employed. If the self-employment has anything to do with copywriting, content creation, content writing, emails, then yes, it's relevant. If it has anything to do with pharmacy or buying and selling, that's not relevant to us. If it's relevant, add it to your LinkedIn. If it's not relevant, pull it out. All right, I think that's it. It's already 11 o'clock. We've had 3 hours. So if you've actually gained something from this call, please, I want to see your comments on the WhatsApp group. Please go there. I want them to feel jealous actually that they missed us, right? That they missed this last week. So go there and basically make them as jealous as you can. Tell them what they missed. Tell them they shouldn't miss next week's session. And I'm sure they will. I expect to see more numbers. Well, at least we had a sizable class today. I expect to see at least 25 or 30 in the next class, God willing. So thank you so much for your time, everyone. No, catering is not relevant to what we're doing. Catering is not relevant to what we're doing. What's your going from reading? Novel writing. Novel writing, put it as one of your skills. It's not a core email marketing skill, but it's something that relatable. So put it as one of your skills. Just put in writing. Yeah, that's all. Ignore this novel stuff. All right. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. Please, I want to see your messages on WhatsApp so that people know that they missed something good today. All right. Have a nice evening, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye now.